welcome to game 1 of the second series, game 2. Make it a doubleheader. Kennesaw State University taking on the University of North Carolina. We'll go through the players and the champions after they've all locked in and swapped it around. Zoe seeming to be the premier ban today, both on the earlier games that were casted and now tier 1 banned this time around. Let me ask, actually, Smartest, in your games earlier, was Zoe also a big ban?
No, neither player really elected to go for the Zoe. Instead, the big picks were like Victor, Lissandra were picked up quite a bit. Renekton was also very prominent. I'm not surprised to see the Renekton ban
weak
coming.
Fear the shadows.
And Kane, Sejuani, Renekton, these are all really powerful champions in card meta. J4, all these sorts of champions are just really dominating. Right now, it's all about the early game. Anyone who can put down pressure early game, or if you're Kane, you can just go Wrath Form Kane and just do percent health damage left and right. Draven is usually a targeted ban, and his name is Dravenbot. So I wonder if he plays him some Draven.
But see, this could be that sneaky, way where you say, I never want to play against a Draven. Let me put Dravenbot in my name, so then everyone always bans him, and that way I never have to play against him.
And he's actually a Soraka bot.
Next level IQ. Next level IQ. That's what I'm talking about. But either way, it is still going to be the Draven ban. Probably his favorite champion. That's why he's got it in the name. As Azir, first pick locked in for Body Those Fools. As Vladimir going to be the counter to that. Pretty nice. You can dodge out on the Emperor's Divide with the pool. Make things easy. As Sivir, the secondary lock-in for UNC at the beginning.
Yeah, so Azir, you only blind pick, like first pick Azir, if you are confident on that champion. That is not usually a pick you want to show super early on. Azir is one of those hyper carry mid laners where if you get a lead early, it's supposed to be game over. So curious. There's the J4 I mentioned earlier. J4 is really big right now.
His engage is so nice. Plus, his clear in the jungle is pretty good. He's one of those champions that pretty much no matter what, he can make ganks happen as long as he's got that level 2. So expect to see him when there's any lane that looks a little bit over pushed by the enemy to be headed in that direction, trying to make something happen. And plus level 6 wombo combo with the Galio ultimate is going to be so beautiful. You set up the fighting pit, you drop the Galio to make it a party house fighting pit. Going to be a good time as we get to see the last pick for this first round picks for UNC. Looking to pick up something super strong. They could try to counter the jungle, maybe pick a Kha'Zix as he's
Whoa, showing the double AP. That's spicy.
So
Syndra's a good pick into Azir.
Syndra potentially in the mid lane with Vladimir top. Go ahead.
I get it.
No, you gave away that it was Vladimir top. That could have been a flex pick. They wouldn't have known what to utilize. They wouldn't have known where it's going. I'm quite surprised that they showed the Syndra to go in the mid lane, because that Galio is most likely support unless the Azir's going somewhere spicy. The Heimerdinger gets banned away. So I'm curious. I wonder if they have like an Heimerdinger 80 carry style, like bot lane maybe they don't want to play against. I suspect we're going to see another jungle ban come down. I don't think we'll see a ban on support here. Unless they play like Janna or something like that, like a lot of it for disengage. I suspect you're just going to see another.
There you go.
Oh yeah, Alistar's a good one too, because you can just knock away the engage and be pretty dirty. But I don't think they would necessarily pick up Sivir Alistar either. Hecarim. Oh, Hecarim is a good pick here. Azir can't stop the Hecarim ult. That is an unstoppable ult.
Interesting. Yeah, I kind of like that. With Hecarim's ultimate, he can get engaged no matter what. Plus, he's excellent initiation. When he gets a couple people feared up, that could set up for those Syndra stuns. The one thing I'm a little bit concerned about, it doesn't carry very well into a Sivir, because Hecarim usually kind of scatters people, whereas Sivir wants them grouped hard together to be able to throw those boomerangs ricocheting through the enemy team. But either way, it's a great source of initiation. Now the one thing they're somewhat lacking for the side of UNC is a little bit of tank. They need someone in a supportive role that can definitely take a beating. You're looking potentially at Leona that could nicely set things up with that solar eclipse. You're looking for maybe Braum, there we go. That's another potential. Okay.
Morgana.
I saw them hover with the Morgana for a second, but I was going in my head. I really hope they don't pick it. She's great for picks, but when you look at the composition besides Vladimir, they're so squishy. And when you have beautiful initiation from a Flash Taunt Galio, Jarvan trying to knock people up with the Flag and Drag, there's so many opportunities for KSU to start the fight off in their favor and be able to grab a pick or something before the enemy team can respond, that I'm not sure in the 5v5s that it's going to be in UNC's best favor, which means they're going to have to focus instead for skirmishes, play the map, get the vision down, and look for those dark bindings or potential stuns by the Syndra.
Yep. I think both team comps are pretty interesting and pretty spicy. I like the Morgana pickup when you have champions like J4 and Galio to come in. Morgana, Sivir, theoretically, should not die. Right? If they play it well, they have the double spell shield bot lane. Morgana can black shield herself. Sivir can spell shield herself. Should be totally fine. Mid lane, Syndra definitely has a priority on the Azir. Jungle is pretty even, and top lane spicy stuff too. I want to analyze it more, but before we do that, probably run down the roster.
All right, for the side of Kennesaw State University, my home college, we got Romanium in the top lane with the Olaf, Vanquish with the Jarvan in the jungle, Body Those Fools taking the Azir into the mid lane, Arrow with the Tristana in the AD carry role, and last but definitely not least, once again, kind of becoming the premier support recently, DKC with the Galio support.
And with the University of North Carolina, we have Fates on the Vladimir top lane, Arbition on the Hecarim jungle, One Day at a Time on the Syndra mid lane, Draven bot on the Sivir bot lane, AD carry, and Lord Apollos, a friend of mine, on the Morgana support.
All right, pretty good compositions overall from both teams. We talk about some of their strong and weak suits. The top lane going to be pretty interesting from the Olaf coming out. He's definitely incredibly strong. However, into a Vladimir as a ranged champion, he can kind of poke away. It'll be a little bit about those undertows to see if he can kind of harass Vladimir, keep him on the back foot rather than just shoving Olaf underneath the turret and maybe making some roams paired with the Hecarim.
Yes, Olaf has total priority on Vladimir early game. Because of Olaf's Q, the axe toss, he can spam that over and over again and just harass Vladimir out of lane. Vladimir's cooldowns are very long early on, until about level 7, level 8, once Vladimir picks up some CDR items like Spear of Asajj, or in this case probably opting for more of like a early Spellbinder perhaps. Maybe even a Zanya's coming in. It's going to take a while before Vladimir can just sort of uber self-sustain the lane. But once it hits that point, Olaf can't really do much to Vladimir anymore. So early game for blue team, Olaf has priority. Red team, Syndra has priority. And in the bot lane, it's sort of it should be a mostly even farm fest lane. So really curious to see what happens in the top and mid lane based off of these junglers. Both junglers have very aggressive picks, Hecarim and J4. Predator Hecarim, we've seen it time and time again. Last time I casted with you, we saw tons of spicy Hecarim stuff coming in these games. I'm super excited to see what happens in the early game between these junglers and how they choose to path.
Indeed, especially as you're talking about their potential engage. But one thing to note as well, the bottom side for University of North Carolina, talk about safety. Sivir and Morgana, both champions that can carry that spell shield. And when you're looking at across the side, Galio, his main initiation is going to be those taunts, either coming out of the brush with a taunt or maybe even a flash taunt. And when you got double spell shields to go against that, if you time it right, you can basically nullify his entire engage, because you say, sorry, we're not going to get taunted, no worries, we're just going to walk our own way, maybe even make a turn. So we'll have to see how quick they are on those fingers with those spell shields. The other nice thing is that, normally speaking, Morgana in that bottom lane only has a spell shield for herself or the AD carry, and so if she puts it on herself, the AD carry's in danger. If she puts it on the AD carry, she gets killed. However, Sivir's got her own, so they say, you know what, we're not even worried about it. Let's just go ahead and each spell shield ourselves as we get into game number 1, Kennesaw State University versus the University of North Carolina. If you're here to cheer them on, feel free to scroll down below. There are actually sound effects that you can choose to cheer your teammates on for victory. Let us hear your voices on the stream. and let them know that even though it'll be actually about 2 minutes late because we do have a 2-minute delay between the stream and when you guys get to see us. So it'll be about 2 minutes late, but the cheers will still come through. That's what really matters as we get into game number 1 of this best of 3.
It looks like we will see a 5-point coming in from both teams. Neither team to be super aggressive. Although University of North Carolina does have that Morgana for the pick potential, they are electing to play it safe. Don't look for anything too crazy. It's too spicy. Olaf having a terrifying level 1. I don't think we're going to see too much action happening here in the early on phase. Tristana did elect to pick up the door on shield, though.
Yeah, so she's going defensive route, expecting to get poked a little bit by that Sivir. One of the things that you don't like is those bouncing boomerangs. If she's trying to hard push the wave, is going to clear it pretty quick. Tristana also good at clearing the wave, but she's kind of maybe expecting some of those boomerangs to come bouncing through. Get some pretty nice passive regen with that Doran's shield. On the top side, the Olaf taking the Corrupting Potion is something that interests me because he... really, you're going to want to be looking to go potentially aggressive with that, kind of like you're talking about. In the early side of the game, maybe he can use that Corrupting Potion, the extra damage that it brings, to really start to put Vladimir on the back foot early on into the game. And J4 looks to be starting the blue side of the map, so these junglers might go crisscross, could try to parallel, parallel jungle farm as well. We'll have to see. We'll have to see.
Yep, so it looks like we might see some vertical jungling coming in this game. Might see Hecarim rotate over to J4's red side jungle, although they have no vision of it, so they don't exactly know bot lane showed some tad late, so they are just going to go full clear. I'm not usually one to talk about a big difference in ranks, but this Olaf is currently ranked as the 48th best player in NA.
Oh, man.
I'm really curious. He is challenger. He is rank number 48.
So expect some good stuff out of him as a double taunt comes through. They're not level 2 yet. There's no spell shield. The flash away from Morgana, but she's still taking a massive beating. Ignite ticks her low. She does live, but that's the heal used by Dravenbot to keep Morgana alive. And that is so costly, and what a great push by DXC.
That door on shield was a bait. They are aggressive.
As Face in the top lane continues to get beat up, the Corrupting Potion used by Romanian just to continue to harass and burn his health down. And as you're talking about, the super aggression from the side of KSU just continues to cause UNC problems in this very early. We're not even 3 minutes into the game as, nice work finding in the bottom lane with the boomerang from the Sivir. She's not able to avoid the Winds of War from DXC. Gets a couple autos down as well. It's pretty nice. And this time, it's actually UNC that gets a good push onto KSU's bottom lane.
Yeah, that undertow from Olaf, you can just repeat spam that. It's very abusive. I really, really, really like the play from the bot lane here from the team. Going for that level 2 Galio taunt. Just rushing right in, Shield of Duran coming in, getting a 2-man taunt off, forcing summoners early on. Though Sivir does still have flash. But despite that, they have managed to find a little bit of aggression back towards them. There's Olaf just playing super far out.
And his press forward mindset is what's allowing him to get so much farm over this Vladimir. Look at that, 24 farm to 10. Vladimir does have a wave to catch, but even if he gets every single minion, which underneath the turret is pretty difficult on Vladimir early on, there's no way you're catching up to Olaf at this point. We want to see him stay that aggressiveness, though. We want to see him continue to move forward. We see, though, very quickly a Poro in the enemy's side red buff for the side of KSU. They got vision deep into the enemy territory. See if they can use that. Keep track of this Hecarim who's on the bottom side, maybe looking for a play.
Undertow misses just a little bit there.
Hecarim decides not to make any plays in the bottom lane, just kind of drops by for a quick visit and then heads on his way out. Quick check-in on the first strike of the game, Mountain Drake. Great for those neutral objectives as a good dark binding forces Tristana to hop away to safety. In the middle, there's a play as J4 comes in, looking for 1 day at a time. Hecarim, though, going to charge on and get interrupted by the J4 flag and drag. Then Hecarim says, you know what, I'm not worried about that. I'll just go in and beat you up instead. Both junglers ganking him at the same time. Nothing much, though, comes of it, as this Olaf just continues to spam those undertows. He's actually trying to chase Vladimir out from underneath the turret. Vladimir doesn't take the bait, though. I'm going to stick around and try to get that farm.
That was such a nice read by J4 on the Hecarim there, using that Dragon Strike to catch him off guard as he tried to engage onto the Azir. Really, really nice read here. And while we do see that CS lead building up, a two-wave CS lead building up for Olaf in the top lane, we see Sivir building up a similar lead, although there is a big wave crash in here. Pretty nasty CS lead being built because they're ranged.
Dark Binding finds Tristana low, under 200 health. Those boomerangs are going to drop lower. It's one going to crit. One crit would take Tristana out, but she hops away with a nice rocket jump to safety to get out. However,
also 0% crit
in this. Oh, wow, that's true. So it could have critted if she had any crit, but considering she doesn't. One plate to UNC's bottom side, stacking up a little bit of gold. We'll see what they decide to back and buy. As J4 just trying to clear the wave to keep that pressure gone. But that is the power of a Sivir push. When she says it's time to clear the wave, it is gone.
Yeah, it's funny because if Morgana had just walked up and pushed Ignite there, that Tristana would have died. But electing to play it safe, not look for anything super aggressive. Can't disagree with that. Oh,
the engage and Burstified used by Azir pushes the Syndra back pretty far. One day at a time, might be going down to Vanquish as he's coming in. I don't think Syndra has any chance to get out of this one. Auto attack from J4 to come in and assist on that kill. That's facing the top side, struggling, needs to get out of harm's way once again from the Olaf that just continues to shove forward.
Syndra did not have mana for Unleashed Power there, so I don't know why she was playing that super far aggressive. She had the mana for the combo, then she probably would have killed Azir, but running pretty low on mana there. This Olaf still just playing so aggressive. Good spell shield coming down from Dravenbot on the Sivir there.
Believe in our
I like this roam we're seeing from blue team here. Galio Tristana running up, defending J4's counter jungling.
Yeah, DKC doing some pretty good work. We saw earlier that two-man taunt that set KSU's bottom lane up pretty well in the early game, but since then hasn't had much pressure. Now he's going to get 6 pretty shortly here. We'll see if maybe he can go somewhere else with that. Thank you to RRS Roberts for the follow. Appreciate that. Coming in, hanging out during this game. It's the Dark Binding on Tristana. She lands and throws. Hold on a second. We got to fight back on the top side. The pool used by Vladimir to get out of Olaf from underneath the turret. DKC dropping low under 200 health. Flashes the Ignite taking away. The flash from Dravenbot. He wants the kill, but he's not going to get it. Hecarim decides not to chase in. Instead go for the Tristana, and Dravenbot picks up the first kill for University of North Carolina in the bottom lane. Perfect to go on Sivir.
Yeah, really good play there, bro. Hecarim. Like you said, could have elected to go for the dive, chose to instead pull back and only look for the Tristana there. Arguably the safer and better percentage play there.
Also, in that top side, I think we missed a bit of the fight, but a lot of turret shots went on to Olaf, forcing him to have to back up as one day at a time, gonna be dropped, one auto attack at a time, body those fools, pick up the kill with a nice engage from the J4. The top side remaining and flashes in, drops the E, no chance to pool, goodbye Vladimir, and 2 more kills for KSU.
See, this is something you will only see higher ranked players do, is they sacrifice early items for the purpose of winning the fights. It's the Executioner's Calling being rushed. You will rarely see a top laner rush this item into a Vladimir, but it's what you're supposed to do.
Didn't even buy boots.
Nope. Corrupting Potion, Doran's Blade because it offers the best stats per gold, and straight into an Executioner's Calling.
To be fair,
I love to see this.
Vladimir is going to be rushing as well. No boots on him, focusing the Zanyas, which is pretty nice armored against that AD damage from the Olaf. That said, it's a much more expensive item, and so we'll take a little bit more time to be able to build up, as well as once it's used, locks you in place. So really, it's only going to have to be used to avoid the Ragnarok from Olaf, but he could just sit around and wait for the Vladimir to come out of that Zanyas. Maybe it's going to be focusing on the cooldowns of that pool to try to escape. We'll see if it's successful. As Syndra coming in for gank in the bottom lane, finds the stun onto the Galio. Yeah, he is gone. For a moment, I got confused because he looks like a big old chicken to me. Either way, he's cooked up for dinner in the bottom lane and gives a kill to the Syndra.
It's always surprising when you're used to seeing a champion be fairly tanky when they get pulled into as a support. And all of a sudden, they're not very tanky. Oh, is Hecarim looking for the play?
No, the repeat gank on the top side was just separation from the bottom side to the top side. Olaf pops the Ragnarok. He decides he's not going to be able to escape. He can't escape from a Hecarim, so instead he's going to turn with the extra auto attacks, try to fight it out. He's going to go down in the bottom lane. There's actually a kill as Sivir drops Vanquish with a nice gank, setting up this Tristana to pick up 1 kill. They can't find the Morgana either, so kill for kill makes it overall a 2-4-1 for the side of UNC.
I like the attempt by Olaf there on the top side. He didn't have Undertow available just yet to repeat spam that, but he waited. He basically just waited until his Vicious Strikes was off cooldown.
Ooh, stun! Wait, Vanquish! Who gets the shield from his E, but no, that's from his W. But it does get out. Yeah, that was a great Syndra stun setup, even though the Flag and Drag followed through. Wanted to comment on the Hecarim ganking on the top side, knowing that Olaf didn't have Flash. He said this is a great target. And then seeing the jungler from KSU on the bottom side. So this is a good place for me to make a play. Gets a little bit back for himself. 1-0-1 at this point in the game is the J4 1-0-2. Junglers highly impacting this game.
Yeah, I wanted to mention this earlier when we were talking about boots in the top lane. I forgot to mention that Vladimir did run Inspiration second tree, so he actually has the boots rune for magical footwear, so can't actually even buy boots even if you wanted to. Got the boots for free.
All right, 4 kills, 2-3, but even in gold, Ravenbot securing this bottom turret should be able to. Yeah, I still got another minion. There it is.
610 gold. It's because we're underneath 14 minutes. That extra tower plate too.
Oh,
160.
So good. And also, check that out. Sivir's got a 40 CS lead over this Tristana. So while the bottom lane may have looked a little explosive for UNC, it's only going to get crazier from here, as that Sivir is massively ahead of the Tristana. Though Tristana, to be fair, does have a BF sword already, so has a bit of damage to herself. Mountain Drake started up by UNC. Should be able to secure it. No one really in position from KSU to fight. Oh, J4 gonna fight the Syndra. She's gonna go golden for the moment and flashes away from the taunt of the Galio. That's gonna force out the teleport from the Vladimir here in the middle of everyone. He pulls away, Ignite ticking down. The heal by Sivir, but it's a little bit early. Body those fools goes in. 2-man Emperor's Divide. That's setting up for even more kills. 1, 2, 3, knocking them down. Olaf drops, but it's at almost to sacrifice the entire enemy team. Hecarim's gonna survive just barely as Tristana tries to int underneath the turret. In the end, though, a 3-4-1. KSU comes out massive with a huge play in the mid lane.
That was quite the team fight. Totally in the favor of blue team there. Sorry, I'm just looking at the gold differences. So Sivir did elect to the Essence Reaver Rush.
They're going to get a couple plates off this mid lane turret. Azir wants to stick around. That third plate is so low. In the meantime, J4 solos the Mountain Drake, giving the first Drake over to Kansas State University, that are doing well despite their bottom lane having suffered so much in the early game. That whole play gave Tristana 3 kills and may have evened up the gold. Not quite, she's still down 1,000 gold, but closed the distance in the gap between the gold of those players.
And Azir, now with that Nashor's Tooth completed, you see already just bopping towers as Vladimir chasing down the Tristana.
Oh, there's no man on the Tristana. The heal for a little bit of extra movement speed. She's going to be slowed by Vladimir E. Fates just walks in. Fates gets himself a kill. And Fates is pretty happy with that, as he's had a struggle in the top side. Raven can be jumped upon by Olaf, who's just hiding in the brush. He said, gank by myself. I'll solo gank you. He's going to be hit by the Dark Binding from Morgana. Flashes forward, trying to finish off the Sivir. He does it. He's got the attack speed. He's got the heal. A double kill for Romania. The top side solo. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, so actually Olaf should have died there, but Lord Apollos chose to stand next to the Olaf, giving him the autos. When Olaf has Vicious Strikes going, he gets lifesteal. So if you let him auto you, he's going to lifesteal all that back up. And we can't forget about Olaf's passive, what he's known for in lane, that Berserker Rage. As his health goes down, the attack speed goes up. He turns into a monster, giving him the 1v2 potential you saw there. And now he got the shutdown gold on the Sivir too. He's sitting on 1,500 gold, picked up 300 gold for the tower.
almost didn't get the tower as he's going to be knocked back by the Hecarim, spell shielded as well. I think the Olaf, despite popping the Ragnarok, wait, no, wait! Okay, finally the ultimate from Hecarim is going to secure one, but Aerof is here as well to say, you know what, I'm going to get something back as well. Rocket jump in, Morgana goes golden, Sivir's got the damage, she's got the Q, she got the kill as well. DKC's not done yet, flies in with Winds of War, trying to get a little bit of damage, but Fates shows up, bringing more members to the party. UNC come out victorious until Vanquish shows up, trying to make a play himself. Azir is around the corner on top of it all. However, they will back away. Despite the turret going down, UNC gets a little bit back on the top side. Crazy, crazy plays from both teams. Olaf unafraid of turning around when he sees himself getting low. He says, you know what? I'm going to take a chance. I'm not just going to run until I die. There's no giving up for the side of Kansas State University as one day at a time in this mid lane. 139 farm to the 154 of Azir. Been a bit of a struggle for the Syndra. She's got her ultimate, hasn't really used it yet in this game, and really needs to be able to have the freedom to roam around the map, join the team, and look to use that unleashed power to knock somebody's health from a quarter to gone, because it's basically unstoppable once you get that spell going.
We have to commend the Azir too. As you mentioned, that CS, he has perfect CS. Doing 10 CS per minute at the moment. Nailing the CS game at the moment. Oh, is Olaf looking for the Vladimir here?
Oh, the Vladimir's going to pool on the bottom side. Fate's walking away for the moment. The Undertow gets the slow. Vladimir goes golden with the Zhonya's as Romania doesn't care. He's just going to Undertow right back in with a turret shot. Fates with the turnaround. Beautiful cue for the heal.
Face was like, you remember that laning phase? You remember that?
Get a little back with the help of a turret as well, and that's what happens when you dive. You can see that Olaf was kind of bouncing back and forth between, do I go for the kill or do I go and try to get away from the turret shots? However, by playing that edge, Vladimir was able to secure a kill and get some nice heal as well going on. So Olaf's fourth death of the game. Vanquish over the wall, drops the Cataclysm onto the Morgana, forces the flash. She lands the Dark Binding, though, saying there's no more of that as the Shurima shuffle from the Azir to get out of harm's way. However, the Hecarim still, no, that was actually the flash from J4 to get away from Hecarim, who's trying to make a play himself. 5v5, both teams kind of grouping towards the mid lane at the moment.
And despite how much craziness we've been seeing from both sides, this game's really even. They have the exact same amount of gold on each team.
10 kills to 9, but the gold is even, which means it's still anybody's game.
Anyone's
Olaf
game.
split pushing on the bottom side, trying to shove those minions up once he gets onto a turret. It's going to be pretty happy days for him clearing that one up. But there's full health on this bottom lane turret. We'll see if that attack speed boosts. I don't think we'll get that turret down before Vladimir shows up. Fate's here to collect the weight.
Yeah, so the gold primarily for blue team being on the Azir and for red team being on the Sivir. So really it's going to come down to, is they're both really strong hyper carry late gamers, is who's going to carry their team to victory in these team fights. Will it be the Azir with the mechanical outplays, or will it be Sivir with the sheer raw damage output from the ricochet, from the ricochets?
Of those boomerangs. Keep in mind that this Tristana is way behind. It's 76 farm to 134 by this Sivir. That is absolutely crucial. Infinity Edge, the only completed item that Tristana has. She's got a ways to go to really become and get back into this game as an effective member. Infernal Drake started up. Infernal Drake dropping low. The Azir's actually wanted to secure it, but the fight is still going to break out as the Hecarim is doing what he can to cause trouble. And Varus Divide separating the fight just a little bit. Romanian's going to secure the first kill. He goes down, though. When he's that low, he still gets finished off. The Sivir trying to chase in onto the Tristana and the Galio at the end of that fight as UNC's health bars are a bit higher. Vladimir's splitting to the bottom side. There's nothing Tristana can do to escape from the Hecarim once he starts that charge in. And that is the fight win for UNC, but the Infernal Drake still went over to KSU, so maybe they can sacrifice this mid lane turret and trade.
Dravenbot played that team fight so well, positioning very, very beautifully, getting those ricochets off, getting just the amount of damage that Sivir put down in that team fight was ridiculous. And like you said, they did give up the Inferno, but it looks like they will be able to pick up the Rift Herald instead.
That's a pretty decent trade, especially when you're also attacking on the mid lane turret. That's a lot of pressure and a gold lead for the University of North Carolina. They could take this turret, rotate towards that top side, but there's a huge way of pushing in, as that was set up earlier by Kansas State University. So the pressure, overall, decent, but the game still in anyone's hands. double drakes for Kennesaw State University. They just need to make sure that when they're doing something like that in the future, they not only can secure the objective, but also get out with their lives. Because when you're given 2 lives over, that says, you know what, all right, we're going to lose a lot of pressure elsewhere on the map. Did no one see this ward?
Which one?
J4, please, somebody. Sorry. The blue trinket ward by Blue Buff. There are 2 members of Kansas State University standing right next to it. And I'm like, there's no way both of you didn't walk through that bush. Someone had to have taken a step in that bush.
Someone.
And now Jarvan is literally recalling right next to it. All right. Memes are the dreams. Whatever.
Bro, 1,000 IQ awards. 1,000 IQ awards. So this is what I was talking about, though. Like, you have Olaf, you have J4. You have these strong frontliners who aren't quite tanky enough yet to be monsters by any means, but as the game goes on, they get tankier and tankier. But Sivir's already fed. Sivir's already super strong. What are you going to do?
2 items completed plus a BF sword. She's going to wreck people's health when she starts to throw out those ricochets in the middle of a fight.
And we can't forget about Vladimir, who just turns into a 1v9 champion late game. I think if you are KSU right now, you really have to look to start playing through your Tristana and Azir a little bit more. You got to start funneling the gold onto them. I want to see them stacking waves and funneling gold onto the Azir, onto the Tristana, getting them a lead. They're like this positioning.
Oh, trying to play to Fates on the bottom side. He's got the pool available. He's waiting as long as he can before using a Hecarim, dropping the Rip Herald on the top side. There's the pool used by the Vladimir to get out the bottom side, but that means that the Shelly will have a nice time taking down the top lane turret with that Hecarim. They're guaranteed to lose at least 1 turret in this exchange. Turret traded over, though, as the bottom lane turret was secured. Where's KSU going to go next? As you're talking about, it's the late game from the Sivir and Vladimir are crazy. KSU is playing a little bit on a timer.
Yeah, although they do have the Tristana, it's you know, they both have 2 late game hyper carries. I wouldn't consider Olaf to be a late game hyper carry, but you have Azir and Tristana, who scale very well into late game. But on Team NCU, UNC, I apologize. You have Vladimir and Sivir, 2 equally as strong hyper carries later on. Olaf strong, Syndra strong. Both compositions are pretty equally matched, I'd say.
That's all right.
You have Gallia who runs in looking for the taunt. You have Lord. Oh!
The flash forward, the Cataclysm used by the... Whoa, hold on! He goes gold. J4 goes on to avoid the damage from the ultimate out of Syndra. Galio securing the kill with a nice ultimate as well, but Hacker's going to respond in turn, jumping forward, knocking the body of those fools Azir backwards. He's going to use his Emperor's Divide, but I don't think it's going to be able to solve much of anything in this problem at the moment as KSU is falling apart. The Olaf trying to flash forwards. Ravenbot dodges out on the E from the Olaf. No way, and survives, making it a 1-for-4 trade. University of North Carolina come out huge.
That spell shield securing the kill on the Olaf without the death. Oh, that was a beautiful, beautiful spell shield. That
Just
spell shield
insane.
made me happy.
And really, all of that was started off by the side of J4 and Galio overextending a bit. While they have that great engage, Galio flashing forward, then using the punch, and then J4 flashing, then the slide and glide, then the Cataclysm. That is a lot of distance that your teammates have to cover to be able to join you. They get the kill on Syndra, but she delays so long by going golden with that stopwatch. The rest of the team can collapse, and then they're just going to run you down. I can actually check real quick on that Olaf. It was the reckless swing that was avoided by the Sivir with a really nice spell shield.
Yep, and also that Hecarim doing a really good job focusing the Azir in that fight. So they're really trying to pull this Infernal out here.
Our
dropping
Vision
2.2 HP.
has been doing fantastically. 4-1-6. He's got the Trinity Force as well. Gonna secure the Infernal Drake, so it's a trade overall between 2 teams, each team having an Infernal Drake at this point in the game. But man, that is a gold lead swing for UNC as they now set 4,000 gold up, 16 kills to 12. And now they could potentially start to pressure around the Baron with Vladimir split pushing in the side lanes. Two items completed for most of Kennesaw State University. The Olaf finishing off that Black Cleaver and the Righteous Glory, looking for a little bit extra movement speed. Azir's got the Leander's Torment as well as the Nashor's Tooth for that extra attack speed. Tristana, though, again, still suffering, only 1.5 items. Go ahead.
Yeah, I would like to see a Ryleys come out of Azir here next. I think that once he gets the Ryleys, he's really going to start being a hyper carry. Because Sivir, now with that IE under her belt, she's practically at full build as far as Sivir Liquid carry goes.
Well, that's some macro rotation when UNC catches KSU a little bit AFK, walks in, takes the second tier turret in the mid lane, says, "Hey, look, if you're not going to be here to defend, let's just walk right through."
And it's funny, we were talking about, oh wow, or at least I was, saying that these ranks are looking a little rough. You know, KSU looking like they might be a little stacked, but oh, man, I have to say, these guys are really, really, really showing up. UNC is playing this game so well, so very well.
Well, I think the thing that I love the most from UNC is that they're covering their weaker spots. Think about that Syndra in the mid lane. It kind of was a little bit slow to get involved in the game, a little bit late to the party, but the team showed up when she died. Think about how many solo queue games you've played where you say, oh, we got a weak laner in the mid or top lane or whatever. Just let them die, ignore them, we'll focus in other places, we'll try to make some plays elsewhere on the map. No, UNC is all in. They shored up their weakness on that Syndra. She's back into the game, 2 completed items. On the opposite side, though, the side of KSU, that Tristana, still a weak point. Finally finishing off her second item. Yep. But that is up against 3 items on the Sivir, 70 CS up. That is a lot of kills Sivir has that is just made up from minions.
You are absolutely right. Having a 2-point... Let's see. About a 1,800, 1,600 gold lead on Azir, who holds the most gold for KSU at the moment.
Who's still farming almost perfectly. 255 minions at the 26-minute mark. Honestly, this early game was a story about Romanium having done a fantastic job in the top side, but this mid game is kind of becoming about Azir, which means we need to keep an eye on him. He's got the Emperor's Divide available, which means the next fight he could go big. Looking, though, like UNC is going to be setting the terms of this fight as they're going to start to rotate around the Baron, try to get some vision, but they're fighting the vision of KSU, which is already in place and pretty well positioned on top of it.
Right you are. Now we have 1,000 gold bounty on the Sivir too. If KSU is able to find that, look at the attack speed on Zir, is so nutty. His Berserker Boost coming in. As I was saying, the 1,000 bounty on Dravenbot's head, if KSU is able to pick that up, that would definitely help. Definitely cut the bleeding a little bit. Maybe get if you can get into Tristana or Azir's pocket, a deal. UNC just mauling turrets down right now.
Yeah, UNC is still focusing on the second tier turret on the top side. They got 4 members here. Vladimir around the corner, kind of waiting to show up. Pressure on the bottom side by neither team as those minions are kind of stalemated right around that river. So the fight is just going to continue to progress here. Neither team ready to give up fighting for the turret. Neither team ready to rush for the Baron. UNC continuing to make movements back and forth, just jockeying for position.
Now that being said, Azir is very powerful right now. Dark Binding. Oh.
Rooted up. Oh, it takes a lot of damage. Stunned up. The heal force out by the Tristana. The flash forward from Bates. He wants the kill. This redemption. Healing body those ghouls up so he can go in. He has to go golden, though, after taking down Morgana. The unstoppable Olaf is destroying the backline until the Sivir uses her own broken stopwatch to reset that fight and make it a complete 3-4-1 in favor of University of North Carolina. Beautiful plays, balancing that turret damage, and now they can take down the turret as well. Potentially turn on Baron. They're still looking at structures, though.
This is definitely going to be a hip gone here. I think if you're a blue team, you continue to stagger this game out. There will come a point where Azir will just start doing so much damage that arguably just mow their front line that faster than Sivir can kill the Olaf or J4.
Inhibitor secured by the University of North Carolina. The fight didn't go well for KSU, mostly because that Azir, before the fight could even get started, got poked out and was immediately pretty much shut down. He did get some health back, but when Tristana is burning her heal for the Azir, and then the redemption is used by Galio for the Azir, that's not the right way to start the fight. Mountain Drake started off by UNC, looking to even the Drakes up from both sides. If they get that, it'll be even easier to take that Baron when they decide to start pressuring around it.
And GA now coming in from Dravenbot too. It's a 5-item Sivir. And Tristana Aerof only able to pick up the Not looking that great so far. Can't forget about Tristana's passive either, though. Tristana does gain attack range as her levels increase. So, have to keep that in mind. Draw a bead. As the teams will start setting up vision on Baron's side here.
All right, now I haven't mentioned it yet, but I gotta just note, I love the fact that out of the April Fool's skins, we have both Sivir and Galio, the speciality skins coming in, which I just think at the very beginning of the game was pretty awesome happenstance.
It was a steal of the blue buff, by the way.
Yeah, wait. Yes, Sivir.
Yep, Sivir picked it up.
Nice Q, grabs the blue buff. And really, where the early game was all in the hands of KSU, UNC have fought back tooth and nail, won a couple of decisive team fights, and now they're going to be starting up the Baron with no pressure by KSU whatsoever. That will secure them to Baron, and now they can potentially turn and fight as the members of KSU are kind of coming through the jungle. Dark Binding, though, on J4 stifles that, so they have to go back and defend.
Again, honestly, I mean, really, Sivir has just been dictating this game. The amount of damage she's been putting out in these team fights is ridiculous with those ricochets.
Checking in on the next Drake. It is an Infernal Drake. Maybe that will be enough to pull KSU out of their turtling from the base and try to fight for the Infernal.
1k crits coming up from Sivir on that red buff. She be a hurtin'. Vampiric Scepter means hurtin' when she critting. And she didn't pick up that Vampiric Scepter, so she will have an easier time staying alive in these fights as well. She still has GA active. However, Zanya's coming in from Azir. Hopefully will help him stay alive a little bit longer in these fights.
7,000 gold lead for University of North Carolina, rotating their pressure with this Baron buff to the bottom side second tier. They should be able to secure it without any difficulty. And now we'll see where they decide to start the siege, because it's going to be a siege, whether on the bottom side or mid side. They're going to have to deal with KSU, all here ready to defend, and Azir can clear these waves pretty quickly.
Yeah, Azir's wave clear is pretty insane. Even he can clear pretty well, even against Baroned up minions. Tristana trying to defend against it. They are going to break this tower bot lane, though.
Yeah, burn it down, letting the cannon minion do the work. Couple of Sivir auto attacks, it's all they need. Vanquish having to run away, flag and drag to safety, but Face is going to follow forward and says, you can't run from me. Drops the Hemo Plague, will pool to get away from the taunt by Galio. Still gets taunted, but not too concerned with that. Force the Galio to go golden. One day at a time, setting up for the unleashed power. Drops the Galio, and now Romania running in circles, looking for an opportunity to try to turn on to Javen Bot, but he's got a GA. Resets that fight as Vanquish is going to look for the Cataclysm, but it's only to his own demise. Aeroth going to fall, and the members of University of North Carolina, they lose one, but get everything. Take down the Nexus turrets, take down the Nexus itself. They can't even finish, or Azir can't even finish off this super low health of one day at a time. Ladies and gentlemen, beautiful victory for the University of North Carolina.
Those black shields are also negating a lot of Azir's damage on whoever he was targeting, too. Really good job by Morgana there on that.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, fantastic game from both teams. KSU had a great early start. They had some great pressure. Romanium just decimated that Vladimir in the 1v1. And Body Those Fools had some great plays in the mid lane. But in the end, it all came down to UNC's rotations, UNC's ability to dictate the fights, and Sivir doing a fantastic job, Dravenbot, at being able to just lay in damage with those ricochets and with those Qs. Don't worry, though, we got more action coming up. This is a best of 3. So KSU is going to have an opportunity to turn this all around in game number 2 and maybe start their own reverse sweep. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. Game number 2 just around the corner. You got to run, so I will see you on